Okay, so today what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at exercise 20 in the Troy Stetina Rhythm Guitar Volume 1 book. So before we start, I'm going to play the song and then we're going to talk about a little something. So here's how that song goes. 4. All right. So, the first thing I want to talk about is targeting notes. So, the first two measures, it goes from the A5. Then we got to jump up to the 8th fret over here on the A string. Now, that's a big jump. So, here's what you don't want to do. You don't want to play this and be looking at your fingers and start searching around the neck to where you need to go. Which here's the 8th fret. So, all right, there we go. Right here. That's what you don't want to do. What you need to do is you hit this chord, and then you look directly at your target. The target is the A string, 8th fret. So I'm playing that chord, then looking right at that area, and bring my hand towards it. Keep practicing that. It's really important. And even when you do that first, you might go like this and then search around. Oh, there it is. It might take you a little bit to get used to it. But keep practicing that because that's really important. It doesn't matter whether you're going up or down. If I'm going from here, going back down to the E, the A5, I'm go like this. Take a look at my target and just bring my fingers down. There's no reason you have to look at your fingers as they're coming down. All they have to remember is that they're coming down in this direction. But I got my target, I can see that chord, and I'm just going to bring my hand down. Same way going back up, hit that, look at my target, bring my finger over here. There we go. So you want to keep practicing that over and over and get that down. So let me bring the camera down and let's take a look at the rest of it. Okay. So we got this the first two measures. Now these are both whole notes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we play these chords, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Make sure you get those counts right. And then the next measure, measure 3, has two half notes. And then one of them is going to be at the 10th fret, one's going to be at the 12th fret. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And now what we do is move down to the 7th fret. Now that one, it's a dotted half note. So a half note is worth 2 beats, and the dot is always worth half of the value of the note it's connected to. So that means half of the value of a half note. We have 2 beats for a half note. Split that in half. You got 1 beat. So you take the half note was worth 2 beats. That dot is worth 1 beat. You add that together. It's 3 beats in total. So a dotted half note would be 1, 2, 3. So again, the dot is worth half the value of whatever note it's connected to. In this case, the note is a half note, which is worth 2 beats. Half of 2 is 1. We add that together. If we had a quarter note, a dotted quarter note is worth 1 beat. That dot is worth half the value of whatever it's connected to. In this this case, it's a quarter note, which is worth 1 beat. So half of 1 is, of course, a half. So the quarter note would be worth 1, and the dot would be worth a half. So together, a dotted quarter note would be worth 1.5 beats. So hopefully you kind of got the idea of how that works. So in this case, we got a dotted half note, so it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to hit that on the chord again on the 4 number on beat 4. So that all together is 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you have problems jumping all around the neck, you're kind of just getting used to it and you can't play it that smoothly yet, what we can do is at the same time practice that rhythm. Just take an open string. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Get that rhythm down on one string, and as you're working on moving it around, getting that more smoother, and you're also working on a rhythm on one string, you'll be able to bring them all together. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And of course, you may end up wanting to say the fret numbers. So during the half notes, you can basically say note. So it'll be like you can say 0, 2, 3, 4, 8, 2, 3, 4, 10 note, 12 note, 7, 2, 3, 7. You can hit that 7 again on beat 4. Or you can go 7 note, note, 7. You can do that too. So yeah, that's that first line. Now the second line goes up here to the 8th fret. Is going to be 2 more half notes. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. Goes down to 5, and that's another half note. So it's no, and then 3, 5, 7, 2, 3, 4. And again, you would probably be wanting, because you don't want to be counting the beats and counting the frets at the same time. So you would probably go 8 no, 8 no, 5 no, 3, 5, 7, 2, 3, 4. So a whole note is just, you may just count out the rest of it. You play the chord, say 2, 3, 4, or you can say 1, 2, 3, 4. I tend to just play the chord, so I can say the fret. 7, 2, 3, 4. That's the way I like to do it. So then, yeah, what you want to do is practice that part. So you have this part going. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 10 note, 12 note, 7 note, note, 7. Practice that over and over again. Then separately, practice this. 8 note, 8 note, 5 note, 3, 5, 7, 2, 3, 4. Keep practicing that over and over again. And then you're going to add in the E5 and then the 3-2 on the A string. And again, this first E5 chord, that is actually a half note. So you're going to play, you could just say 0. Let's say E5, you can go 0, no, 3, 2, 0, no, 3, 2. And then you'll put all that together. So it's 8 no, 8 no, 5 no, 3, 5, 7, 2, 3, 4. 3, 2. Yep. And yeah, and you practice that over and over again. And basically, what you then do is you go back to the beginning, and then you're gonna put those together. But say it's the second time you did this. 3, 2. Then it ends off. The final measures is you play an A5, Now if you notice there's a little line that connects that to the A5 in the next measure, and that's a tie. That means you play the first one, you don't play the one in the last measure. You're going to actually let the first one ring over that amount. So you're not going to do this. You're not going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. What you're going to do is go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's what a tie means. Whatever it's connected to, you strike it in the first one, let it ring out for the duration of whatever note it's connected to, which in this case, it's a whole note connected to a whole note, so it's going to be 8 beats in total. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you don't go to these last two measures until you've gone through the whole thing. You went back to the beginning again, repeat it again, and then go into that. So we want to be able to put this back together, but we don't want us to keep banging away at it, just straight from the beginning all the way to the end. We have to really focus in on the transition. So last measure in the first line is 7, and then you can say 7, no, no, 7, 8, no, 8, no. So practice that. 7, no, no, 7, 8, no, 8, no. You got to make sure you can get that smooth. Otherwise, you're going to play through this and get to this. And it's like, oh yeah, I got to hit 8. You're going to have that little pause. So you got to work on just this transition to get that nice and smooth. You got that little bit going good, and add a little bit more, because what you need to do is be able to go through this transition when you're not as focused on it. So I'm gonna start on the measure before. So it's 10, no, 12, no, 7, no, no, 7, 8, no, 8, no. And there you go, I got it. If you weren't able to nail that, then you just keep practicing that over and over and over again. And if you need to, and you just really struggling with it, just slow everything down and just really beginning to focus on your movements and trying to get that in time, but you can bring it to a lowest level that you feel like bringing it down to. So then, all right, I got that transition. Then you go ahead and just try the whole thing. 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 10, no, 12, no, 7, no, no, 7, 8, no, 8, no, 5, no, 3, 5, 7, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, start again, 3, 4, 8, 2, 3, 4, 10, no, 12, no, 7, 2, 3, 7, 8, no, 8, no, 5, no, 3, 5, 7, no, 3, 4, 0, no, 3, 2, 0, 2, 3, 4, 0, 2, 3, 4. Yep, so I kind of mixed it up a little bit there with actually counting when I should have said the fret numbers, but I think you got the idea of what to do there. And yeah, that's basically it. That's how that whole thing works. You just want to take the song and work it on chunks, and also while you're doing this, try to memorize those small pieces. Look at it first, but then try to play it without looking at it. Get that down. And so as you're going through the separate parts, also memorize them. And then, again, you want to, instead of trying to go all the way from the beginning and putting it all together, focus in on that transition. The transition from one measure to the next measure. Just play those two measures, the end of the first line, beginning of the, end of the first line, and the beginning of the second line. First measure of that, and then practice that, get that really smooth, and maybe add in the measure before so you're a little less concentrated, go through that, and then finally you can try the whole thing. So hopefully that was of some help. If you need some extra help, then let me know. Otherwise, we will see you in the next lesson. All right, take it easy.